Welcome to the roof reporting webinar here, okay? Now, this one's an interesting subject because there are a lot of resources out there we have available, and we also have some resources and reporting tools in the works. So rather than focusing on one or the other, since we do have so many out there, we went ahead and just created a Word document or a Word template so we could really focus on the elements of a roof report as opposed to the technology, okay? So what I mean by that is I'm sure a lot of you have been through training with RAR and training with OLLI and a host of other reporting tools out there, and you really get hung up on the right clicks and left clicks, and you really don't focus too much on the elements or what needs to be in the report to make it a good one. So that's why, again, we just created a simple template that we could click through quickly. And like I said, hopefully you'll find this useful. If you have something else out there that you'd like to send to me, please send that to tcostanzo@tremcoinc.com. I'd love to update this template or scrap it and recreate the entire template altogether. So, okay. So let's go ahead, and what we're going to do is we're going to double click on the report template that I sent out. Okay, so go ahead and save that somewhere, and once you get to it, double click on it. And as you can see, a Word document opens. Okay, so again, we're not focusing on what database software you need to have here, or like I said, we're sticking to the basics here. Let's just get through what the elements of a good report are, okay? So the first page here is the cover page, okay? So in this example here, I had a chance to look at Washington School District, the Washington Middle School, and there's the address up there on the top. Now, in your case, if you'd like to update this, go ahead and just double click on that box, okay? Now, you'll see the dotted line there around the box and the Tremco logo. That does not print out when you print this thing, okay? It's just a kind of a guide to help you understand what's printing, okay, or where to click. So let's say this is the high school instead. Again, I would just click in the box and then start free typing Washington High School, okay? And then once I go ahead and make those changes, and I got the address wrong there, I'll change that 5 to a 6. Once I make those changes and I'm good with it, I just go ahead and double click off of that in some other area. Okay? So again, we're sticking with basics here. We gotta master the basics before we get to the more detailed information. So okay, so the next thing is the logo. Okay? So let's say that was not there. Okay, so let's say or I'm updating this template for a different customer. What I went ahead, I clicked on that logo and just hit delete or backspace, and I want to insert an updated logo or a logo specific to my report. I'd go up, and again, your word might be a little bit different, but you can always just right-click. You'd go up to the top menu and click Insert, and then find where it says Picture. Okay, then it's going to open up your window, and I have everything organized in a Washington School District folder, so I'm going to double click on that, and there's the logo. Okay, now you see it's a pretty good size. I think it's good for this report. If you wanted to resize this in some way, just grab the corner and kind of play around with it and make sure, make it bigger, make it smaller, do what you got to do. Okay, but again, I like the way that looks, so I'll go ahead and leave it there, okay? So again, before I move too much further here, what you'll notice in this, on this template, what we typed in here, and let me go, I'll double click there and fix that typo. This will actually print on each page of the report, and you'll see as we go along here. So it's nice to have a nice header on it so you know what you're reading, no matter how many pages this thing is, okay? So, okay, and I'm going through. Again, we put the logo in. Now, I like to put the address here, or again, this is a free form here. You can put as little or as much information as you'd like. This is just a template or an example Again, feel free to change this any way you'd like. Okay, so you can put the address there again or something else. And here I put prepared for the customer name or the client name. This is Joe Client. His title is facility manager. And there's the address again. Again, you can put emails, phone numbers, as many or as little information as you'd like. This is basically just a cover page, okay? And on the bottom, I put prepared by. It's good to have your name. Put your name on it, okay? And I just put Tom Tremco and address, email, and I'm going to go ahead and add cell phone number. So if you do have to add to this things and you see things jumping around here, just go ahead and click around and delete and make sure all this information shows up on the title page. So for this, I'm going to put 216-123-4567, okay? And that is the cell phone, okay? And lastly, you'll see the page number in the lower left-hand corner and a WTI logo. That is the footer. Okay, now if I'd like to change that information, go ahead and double click in there. And that's when I can make my changes. If I do not want the WTI logo, I just hit delete and it goes away. Or if I don't want the page number, I can go ahead and delete that as well. Okay, so again, this is a free form here. Whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you like, okay? So there's a good cover page for us. Again, you can customize it, put as many photos as you like, but that's just the base model, okay? So now moving forward here, on our second page, this is where we start to get to the roof name and the detailed roof information, okay? So again, you can see these little boxes here. You can just click on them and type anything you'd like, okay? So we're going to actually go, since this is part one, we're going to stop at comments. Okay, so if you could just stick with me here, let's go ahead and click on the roof name. So in this case, it's roof A. Okay, the square feet, again, I've already took some measurements. I've already put this drawing into AutoCAD or Visual CAD, so I know this information. So in this case, it's 1,000 square feet. Okay. Now the asset value, again, you could change any or all of these boxes around, whatever you feel comfortable with. There's no standard. Talk with your trainers or managers and see what's the best method for you. Again, for this particular roof, and we'll get to the composition here shortly, we're going to use $15 a square foot. So 15 times 1,000 gives us $15,000, okay? So again, you could put as much or as little information as you'd like to, but I'll go ahead and put $15,000. And in this case, I'll put 15 slash square foot, 15 per square foot, okay? Year installed, I'm going to go ahead and check my notes here, and this one was installed in 2000, okay? Year to replace, I'm going to say 2015. Okay, inspection date, I looked at this one on January 22nd, 2014. Again, your date type varies, whatever you feel comfortable with. Leaking, I'm going to go ahead and say, yes, it is leaking. Now here, where we get to our roof rating, I'm going to go ahead and, based on my findings here, I'm going to call that fair, okay? Now what I like to do is I like to change the colors of the ratings. So if you're using the green, amber, red color scale that's out there, I'm going to go ahead and make this amber and make it bold because it kind of sticks out a little bit, okay? Warranty information, I'm going to say none because we do not have any information on this one, okay? Okay, so that's our first column. Again, you saw how I just clicked through those. Relatively simple. There is some open space there too if you have to add more information than I've added. Like we said, we try to leave it open for you, okay? So going over to the right, this is our detailed roof information, okay? We've cut a core. We've made some notes as to exactly what this roof is composed of, so we're going to go ahead and type this in, okay? So for this case, it's an asphalt built up roof, Again, and all I did was click in that box, okay? Click in the areas of the dashed line. Like I said, you click in there, but when you print this document, the dashed or dotted line will not show up, okay? So we have plies, we have 4 glass, hot, applied. Again, you could put 4-ply, fiberglass, hot installation, hot applied, whatever. You could customize this as you'd like to. And if you do start to run, like let's free type some information here. Okay, so we got 4, oops, a little trigger happy there, 4 fiberglass and hot adhesive. So if you see, if I type through the box, it'll just automatically format it and make it look nice for me anyway. Okay, so you're not boxed in there. You're not limited to one line there. Okay, and I actually got ahead of myself there. I apologize. So that's actually the surfacing. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that because here our surfacing is actually aggregate and flood coat. Okay, as you see there, it automatically formatted. Now we're at the plies. We're going to say 4-ply fiberglass in hot adhesive or hot asphalt. Okay, going down the line here, we have cover board. We have a 1/2 inch. Oops, not the best typist here, so please bear with me. 1/2 inch wood fiber, and that was also in hot asphalt. Again, you're kind of walking the client through each element of the system, okay? And you were presenting it in an organized fashion because I've seen too many reports, and unfortunately, I've written too many reports where the entire roof composition is a one-line description: asphalt built-up roof, comma, plies, fiberglass plies. This way, it's more organized. It just makes for a better report, okay? Then we have our insulation. Here we have 2-inch ISO, and this is actually mechanically attached. Okay, and our deck is metal. Okay, so see there, that completes my notes. That completes this roof composition. But as you can see, there's some extra lines there. So if you do have a couple different layers of insulation, you could put that there. Again, we left you some wiggle room there. Okay. So moving on to comments. Okay, this is where we put, again, this is just an example. These are the notes or comments I have in my binder. But as you can see, this is a free-form typing box. You can put as much or as little information as you'd like. This basically varies depending on the, if you're delivering this report in order to also deliver a proposal and get a patch and repair order, or if you're just giving this report, putting it together as an FYI for budget concerns, okay? We'll get to a more detailed report later on, but let's just, again, we're sticking with the basics here, okay? So in my notes, I have this, again, I just clicked in the box. I want to make sure this is not bold or bold, depending on, whatever you want it to look like. So I'm going to say this roof is located directly above the music room. Previous repairs were completed and as you can see, the rest of my report kind of adjusts itself as I go here. In the summer of 2013. Recommend, okay, now here I'm going to, just a brief, I'm recommending that they perform repairs on this, and you're going to see as we go along here. So let's just put the comment in there first. Recommend repairing the roof conditions as soon as possible. Okay. Now, you saw the two key words there, roof conditions, and we're going to go into, we all know what those are, but we're going to have a detailed description of each one, and we're also going to show some photos. Okay. But again, this is part one. Let's stick our toe in the water here, and let's just get the base information in. Okay. So as you can see, our next topic or our next line there is roof conditions. Okay. For right now, we're going to skip that. So we're just going to keep scrolling down because our next page, you'll see we have roof photos. Okay. So again, I said as you hit enter, the report adjusts itself. As you can see, I hit a couple extra enters, or I skipped a couple extra lines here. What I'd like to do is I'd like roof photos to show up as the first line of this page here. Again, that's just formatting / housekeeping. Okay, so we skipped roof conditions. We're also going to skip roof photos. Again, that's in part two. Hang with me, be patient, we'll get there. Okay, so we're going to skip the roof photos and the descriptions. And for this exercise, we actually looked at two different roofs. So again, let's master this aspect of it, and let's go ahead and skip to our fourth page here, and we're going to enter the information for roof B. Okay, so here's roof B. And our square feet is 2,000. And our asset value here is, let me check my notes here. Using a $14. Again, these are all guesstimates, and these vary by region or state. So I'm going to use 14 times 2,000. And our asset value is actually $28,000. Again, you can put as much or as little information as you'd like. I'm going to go ahead and put 14 / square foot. Okay. Year installed. This one was installed in 2009. The year we want to replace this one, again, we're going to put 2019. Inspection date, the same as the other one, 1/22/14. Leaking, this one, let me check my notes. Yes, this one is leaking as well. Roof rating. Again, this one's going to be fair, but again, if this was green, I'd go ahead and type green and then select it and change the color to green, make it bold. Okay? Or if it was red, do the same thing. Change the text to red, change the color to red. Okay, just a style there. You can leave it bold and black. You can do whatever you want. But again, just a couple tricks or tips. If you want to use them, go ahead. But again, this one's fair, so I'm going to change it to amber. Now, the warranty information on this one, we do not have any either. But let's say, for example, this was a Tremco roof. Well, if it was, we wouldn't be replacing it in 10 years. But let's say this is a competitor's roof. So this would be, we could put ABC Roof Corp. We could put the number, 123, warranty number 13456. Okay, and that could be 10 year. Again, you, like I said, you could put as much or as little information as you'd like. Just go ahead, and as you go through this, you'll want to just readjust your lines here. Okay, so I'll go ahead and leave that as is. Okay, now we're going to get to the type. Okay, again, we cut a core on this roof too. We took a look at our notes, but this one's a little bit different. This has a different composition here. This is a modified bitumen. Okay, the surfacing is actually granules. And if this sounds familiar, this style was pulled directly from Ollie. Our plies. So we can go ahead and put cap sheet. is non-reinforced, so we could say non-reinforced cap sheet and hot adhesive, or I'm sorry, we're saying hot asphalt. Again, it's good good practice or best practice to keep things similar, because you don't want to say hot adhesive on one page and then you look 2 pages down, it says hot asphalt. So stick with one or the other. I'm not recommending either or, whichever one you're comfortable with, okay? So we have our non-reinforced cap sheet, and underneath that we have 2 plies of glass. Now I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, I want to keep things similar. So here I put 2-ply fiberglass and hot asphalt. So going down here, I'm going to put 2-ply fiberglass and hot asphalt. Okay, again, I just want to keep things similar. So it makes it easy to read and easy to understand. Okay, cover board, very similar, 1/2 inch. Where's my 1/2 inch wood fiber? And, you know, to save myself a little step here, I'm going to go ahead and copy, highlight it, right-click, select copy, go down here, because as you can see, I'm not the best typist here. Now, the insulation is the same, so I'll go up, same thing, right-click, copy, go down, click, right-click, paste. Okay, and it looks like I misspelled mechanically there, but let's go ahead and wrap this up. Metal, okay, and we have a metal deck here. Now let's I'm going to show you how to spell check this later on, so let's just go through the comments. Again, make sure that's bold or not, whatever you prefer. Now, this roof is located directly above the gym. Okay, no previous repairs have been made to this roof. Again, we're going to put a recommendation. Recommend repairing the roof conditions as soon as the weather allows. Okay, again, we saw that keyword, roof conditions. For right now, we're going to skip that here as well, but again, you can put as much or as little information as you'd like. Okay, so again, I got the bare bones, or the minimum amount of information in it. Again, just some formatting. As you see things move around, if you see things move around, just go ahead and click and delete to make sure certain things show up where you want them to. But again, for right now, I'm done for my first part here. So to complete it, I'm just going to go to review and check the spelling, okay? So go ahead, and I'm sure a lot of you have already used spell check before, so go ahead and ignore or change what you need to. Okay, and once I'm complete here, I like to go ahead and go File and Save As. Now, I'm going to save this one on my desktop. Okay, so as you can see, I have my roof report template, but for this one, I'm going to go ahead and save it as Washington High School. And I'm also going to put the date on it. So in this case, it's 1/22/14. Okay, that's all. If 2-3 years down the road I have to look for this document, I can always find it quickly. And I don't have everything called roof report template, and I save things. You know, I'm just, just again, best practice, good housekeeping there. Okay, so once I type that file name in, I'm going to click Save, and there we go. Okay, go ahead and go through this video a couple times and make sure you master these basic exercises, because in part 2, what we're going to do is we're going to add roof conditions and we're going to add photos, okay? So go ahead and master these two, and then when you're ready to move on, we'll go ahead and move on together, okay? Thanks a lot. If you have any questions, just let me know.